a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And welcome to the show. Thanks for spending some time with us here. We greatly appreciate you supporting the local economy by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show and all of our expert contributors. We got Brandon Faust in the house, moldsolutions.com. We're going to talk about the silent killer that is called mold, and it could be in your real estate properties. We'll talk with him about some of his strategies to help combat that. Andrew QB, US Commercial and Business Capital. He's got some really unique lending programs, SBA, on the commercial side. So this is definitely a segment you want to hear if you're in that space or thinking about maybe buying a commercial building, being in that market. Also helps a lot with self-employed borrowers. And then on the second half, we've got Patrick Furlow. So Patrick and Annie Furlow, Step by Stage Interiors. They do excellent job with our real estate home staging. So they're able to stage properties, help you sell faster, reduce the days on market, increase the sales price. And because days on market are the enemy to your home's value. So we're going to talk to you about that with Patrick Furlow coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Discovery Golf Cars, longtime friends of the show. Discovery Golf Cars hooked us up with a beautiful Keller Williams Red Easy Go golf cart. They have many makes and models. They got new and used. They've got the Easy Go, Star EV, Cushman, and you can find them in Tampa, Clearwater, and also US 19 North now. I saw one up there towards Newport Richey, I believe. DiscoveryGolfCars.com. Check them out online. DiscoveryGolfCars.com. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers. All right, we got a property at 3864 50th Avenue South. And if you'd like to have your real estate property featured live on air on our syndicated talk show, seen and heard by thousands of people every day, we would love to talk to you about listing your property, helping you sell it for maximum profit. 3864 50th Avenue South, St. Petersburg. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1659 square feet. Fully remodeled, luxury vinyl flooring, bathrooms that are updated, stainless steel appliances in the kitchen. You have an island in the kitchen as well. Beautiful property here, just a block away from the recently renovated Maximo Marina and famous Tiki Docks near I-275 down south there, close to the beaches. 3864 50th Avenue South, St. Petersburg. Now, this property comes with a rate that's locked in. The owner has already paid and purchased the rate down, bought the rate down to a 6.25, I believe. It's a 6.25 fixed rate, 30-year fixed on this property. So it's a really cool program that he has a list and lock on. Great opportunity for you there. 7300 Shoreline Boulevard. We got an Airbnb property. This is kind of a residential / commercial property where you have rental units available. The superhost of the Airbnb is currently, she's a super host on there, 7300 Shoreline Boulevard. This is Weeki Wachee, Florida, riverfront on the waterfront in Weeki Wachee. Commercial property with a residential lot included, 5 fully furnished waterfront suites. All kayaks and furnishings are included. You got 60 feet of prime waterfront on the Weeki Wachee River, and you got the Weeki Wachee Springs that is so close by, Pine Island Beach, a lot of great local restaurants. See the mermaids, explore the outdoors, or just take a break from the hustle and bustle of city life. And Weeki Wachee is definitely a hot spot for tourism. 7300 Shoreline Boulevard, Weeki Wachee, commercial property, 5 fully furnished waterfront suites available for sale. And you can see all of our real estate listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
This is God's country.
All right, we got B. Faust in the house, Mold Solutions. Welcome back, sir.
Great to be back. I mean, it's been a while since I've been in studio, and I'm, always looking forward to talking with you and talking to your listeners.
Yeah, man. So what's the latest? What you been up to? How's the market treating you?
Well, we've kind of gone into that time of year where it starts cooling down. There's less humidity. With less humidity, there tends to be less microbial growth, mold growth. So, with that, these are times where it's good to take advantage of some of the other services that we also offer in terms of like duct cleaning, UV purification systems, whole home purification systems that we can install with our sister company, Real Duct Cleaning. So, we take advantage of the indoor air quality as a whole, and just making sure that it's something that you can give to your family and your friends, and really for your family, making sure that they have a healthy home for the holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that idea. So you got duct cleaning. When's the last time, or what? I wonder if there's stats on what the average homeowner, if or when they clean their ducts.
I've seen homes where they've gone 15, 20, 30 years without doing any sort of duct cleaning.
Yeah.
And, when you look at that and you look at how much, buildup is in there, it can't be good for your health.
Right.
Because that you have a constant airflow. If you've ever tried to take an air filter out of a AC unit while it's going,
Yep.
you can feel the strength and the pull
Yep.
that is taking place. So imagine that air blowing across all kinds of buildup that does take place in the ducts. And
Yeah.
a lot of times there is mold in the AC unit. So during the wintertime, it's a great opportunity to make sure that those are clean. And, just as a point for your listeners, and I think something that is a crucial piece of information is that when you do duct cleaning can have a bad name. And part of the reason why is because if there is microbial growth in your ducts and you're taking a brush to it, you could agitate what's in the ducts. And
Yep.
mold is a living, breathing organism. And even if it's gone dormant, it does have defense mechanisms built into it. So when you agitate it, it can release the spores and the toxic gas that mold tends to release.
Right.
So, when you talk about duct cleaning, sometimes it can have a reverse effect where you get it done, but then the health of the people living in the home is worse, and they're wondering why. And it really has to do with not taking that extra step of doing a whole home sanitization, which really should take place with every duct cleaning, and potentially using equipment to filter the air while you're doing the duct cleaning, and making sure that the duct cleaning is being done while hooked up to a vacuum. It's a massive vacuum. We call it negative air. So we're sucking out any of the contaminants while we're doing the agitation of what's in the ducts and getting all of that stuff loosened up.
Yeah.
So we'll do a whole remediation project on an AC system where we clean the blower wheel, we'll clean the coils, the box that attaches the actual ducts to the air handler itself. We'll do a whole refresh on that, and sometimes it may have to be replaced because there's so much microbial growth in there.
Wow.
But it is really important for the overall indoor air quality to
Sure.
address the ducts and make sure the full procedure is done, not just half of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine. You think about the overall health that you have in your home. We focus on the food. We're going to buy organics most of the time. If people can afford it nowadays with this Biden economy. But you think about that. We have, for example, Fred DeFelice, Water Science US. He's talking about cleaning the water, making sure the water's filtered through, right, and having his system on the home. And then we bring you in and we talk about mold solutions and cleaning the air purification. I mean, you really got to be cognizant. I mean, I can tell you right now, I've got in my family just a lot of people that are dealing with cancer.
Yes.
Cancers, brain cancer, lung cancer, bypass heart surgeries. I mean, it's just like what they say, when it rains, it pours. But what's more important than your health, right?
Very little. I mean, without your health, what's the point of wealth? At the end of the day, you can have $1 billion in the bank, but you're not taking it with you where you're going.
Yep,
right?
That's right.
So, you got to make sure that your home is healthy. And, the point that you bring up is, you look at the food, water, and air. These are the three necessities that we have for you living.
Sure.
And the cleaner those things are, the healthier you're going to be.
Right.
Right. And, I look at disease as really, it kind of comes down to two things. Either you're getting too much of something that you shouldn't have,
Yep.
or too little of something that you should have.
Right.
So if you look at the toxins that, mold actually produces, a lot of people underestimate how much of an impact that it can have on, your physical well-being.
Right.
But the actual ultrafine particles that mold releases, the toxic gas, if you will, has been linked to Alzheimer's, Parkinson, dementia, these sort of neurodegenerative issues that people have, as well as cancer. So
Right.
A lot of times, you look at that and you go, well, they haven't figured out a cure for these things.
Yep.
Well, why is that? Well, maybe it's because they haven't figured out the actual correct source or the
Right.
correct cause. And if it has to do with environmental toxins that have gotten into the body and that are now causing an issue for you and your loved ones,
Right.
it's really something to consider. You
Yeah.
have to have those three things must be clean in order for you to be healthy: your water, your air, and your food.
Yeah, and you think about the acidity in the bloodstream, right, or the acidity in the body. The more sugars you have, a lot of these, a lot of people. Somebody was telling me someone was drinking a case of Coca-Cola a day.
Yeah.
Or a 12-pack a day. It's like, mix of water in there every now and then, right? So when you have that in your body, now you've got this acidity buildup, and that's where these dis-ease, it's dis-ease in the body, these cancers can thrive. Where if you're doing it the opposite, if you're having more of the basic and the alkaline, then now you're in a much better situation. So I imagine that translates over into the mold world. Absolutely.
And if you look at the overall impact of mold and whether or not it actually can have an impact on the body, I reference people to take a look at one of the things that sells, tremendously well here in the United States, alcohol. Mm-hmm. What is that? It's a fermentation of yeast. Yeast is a fungus. But what is the byproduct of having too much alcohol, right? You get hungover, you feel bad,
sure.
Right? It
Dehydrated.
can make, all kinds of things that, your mental acumen is impacted. How about people that are taking mushrooms as a drug?
Yeah,
right. That's a fungus.
Psychedelic.
It's a psychedelic drug. It's a fungus. It's a how about LSD?
Right.
LSD comes from the mold ergot. It's a fungus. Right.
Interesting.
So these are things that absolutely have an impact on your mental well-being, your physical well-being. So even penicillin, right? It's an antibiotic, but for some people that are allergic to penicillin, it can cause a reaction that could send them into, people always ask, are you allergic to penicillin?
Right.
Well, there's a reason for it. It's an antibody. Well, some people have a sensitivity to it or have an allergic reaction to it that can cause death.
Right.
So that comes from mold. It comes from the mold penicillium. So to question whether or not mold can actually have an impact on the body at this point in time, at this stage of the game, I think it's unfounded and I think it's irresponsible because in actual fact, every person in their immune system is going to respond differently.
Right.
Similar to somebody who might do better with the antibiotic penicillin and somebody who might have a reaction.
Yeah.
So if you do have microbial buildup or mold in your home, mold hidden behind the walls, it's really releasing these toxins. It's really important to respect it and to take it seriously as a potential health hazard.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brandon Faust is who we recommend, moldsolutions.com. Brandon Faust, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, local economy. You're supporting the local economy by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show, moldsolutions.com. Duct cleaning, whole home purification, indoor air quality, checking out, testing the home, making sure you don't have mold in the home. Brandon, final thoughts. Back to you.
Yeah, it's important when you find somebody. So we really specialize in the remediation end of it, although we do have a license to do the testing and the assessment. And we do a free in-home consultation where we'll come and take a look at what's going on in the home because we know where to look and what to look for.
Perfect.
But in regards to, and that's for homeowners in Tampa Bay, we'll do that, a free environmental consultation. But we will also recommend various inspectors who can sample what we find or sample the air. And that's really the dividing line between, we'll do almost like a water damage assessment versus, mold inspection. Because in Florida, you can't do both.
Right. Got it. Okay.
So we do the remediation end of it. But it's really important to find inspectors that know where to look and what to look for. And we can also help on that as well.
And they'll send it off to a lab, verify it, and that way you know exactly what you're working with.
Exactly. And then that gives us an idea of, is it a water mold? Is it a humidity-driven mold? And that also gives us an approach to properly handle it to make sure that your home is as safe and healthy as possible.
Perfect. All right. Moldsolutions.com. Also 727-263-3707. If you'd like to get in touch with Brandon Faust, moldsolutions.com. You can give us a call, 727-263-3707. And Brandon, always a pleasure catching up with you, man.
Yeah, likewise. Appreciate it.
All right, taking a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about financing, commercial financing, small business capital with Andrew QB coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. U.S. Commercial and Business Capital coming up here on the show. Don't go anywhere. Hey, follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes 1, at CQB Show. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, Brandon Rhymes Realty. And we'll be right back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you've been listening to the phenomenal Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback Show.
To get into